of the Middle Way. Nagarjuna's Mulamadhyamakarika. Translation and commentary by J. L. Garfield, Part 1, the text of Mulamadhyamakarika. Chapter 18, Examination of Self and Entities 1. If the self were the aggregates, it would have arising and ceasing, as properties. If it were different from the aggregates, it would not have the characteristics of the aggregates. 2. If there were no self, where would the self's properties be? From the pacification of the self and what belongs to it, one abstains from grasping onto I and mine.
3. One who does not grasp onto I and mine, that one does not exist. One who does not grasp onto I and mine, he does not perceive. 4. When views of I and mine are extinguished, whether with respect to the internal or external, the appropriator ceases. This having ceased, birth ceases. 5. Action and misery having ceased, there is nirvana. Action and misery come from conceptual thought. This comes from mental fabrication. Fabrication ceases through emptiness.
6. That there is a self has been taught, and the doctrine of no self, by the Buddhas, as well as the doctrine of neither self nor non-self. 7. What language expresses is non-existent. The sphere of thought is non-existent. Unarisen and unceased, like nirvana, is the nature of things. 8. Everything is real and is not real, both real and not real, neither real nor not real. This is Lord Buddha's teaching. 9. Not dependent on another, peaceful and not fabricated by mental fabrication, not thought, without distinctions, that is the character of reality, thatness.
10. Whatever comes into being dependent on another is not identical to that thing. Nor is it different from it. Therefore it is neither non-existent in time nor permanent. 11. By the Buddhas, patrons of the world, this immortal truth is taught, without identity, without distinction, not non-existent in time, not permanent. 12. When the fully enlightened ones do not appear, and when the disciples have disappeared, the wisdom of the self-enlightened ones will arise completely without a teacher.
Chapter 19, Examination of Time 1. If the present and the future depend on the past, then the present and the future would have existed in the past. 2. If the present and the future did not exist there, how could the present and the future be dependent upon it? 3. If they are not dependent upon the past, neither of the two would be established. Therefore neither the present nor the future would exist. 4. By the same method, the other two divisions past and future, upper, lower, middle, etc., unity, etc., should be understood.
5. A non-static time is not grasped. Nothing one could grasp as stationary time exists. If time is not grasped, how is it known? 6. If time depends on an entity, then without an entity how could time exist? There is no existent entity. So how can time exist?
Chapter 20, Examination of Combination 1. If, arising from the combination of causes and conditions, the effect is in the combination, how could it arise from the combination? 2. If, arising from the combination of causes and conditions, the effect is not in the combination, how could it arise from the combination?
3. If the effect is in the combination of causes and conditions, then it should be grasped in the combination. But it is not grasped in the combination. 4. If the effect is not in the combination of causes and conditions, then actual causes and conditions would be like non-causes and non-conditions. 5. If the cause, in having its effect, ceased to have its causal status, there would be two kinds of cause, with and without causal status. 6. If the cause, not yet having produced its effect, ceased, then having arisen from a ceased cause, the effect would be without a cause. 7. If the effect were to arise simultaneously with the collection, then the produced and the producer would arise simultaneously. 8. If the effect were to arise prior to the combination, then, without causes and conditions, the effect would arise causelessly.
9. If, the cause having ceased, the effect were a complete transformation of the cause, then a previously arisen cause would arise again. 10. How can a cause, having ceased and dissolved, give rise to a produced effect? how can a cause joined with its effect produce it if they persist together? 11. Moreover, if not joined with its cause, what effect can be made to arise? Neither seen nor unseen by causes are effects produced.
12. There is never a simultaneous connection of a past effect with a past, unknown arisen, or an arisen cause. 13. There is never a simultaneous connection of an arisen effect with a past, unknown arisen, or an arisen cause. 14. There is never a simultaneous connection of a known arisen effect with a past, unknown arisen, or an arisen cause.
15. Without connecting, how can a cause produce an effect? Where there is connection, how can a cause produce an effect? 16. If the cause is empty of an effect, how can it produce an effect? If the cause is not empty of an effect, how can it produce an effect? 17. A non-empty effect does not arise. The non-empty would not cease. This non-empty would be the non-ceased and the known arisen.
18. How can the empty arise? How can the empty cease? The empty will hence also be the non-ceased and known arisen. 19. For cause and effect to be identical is not tenable. For cause and effect to be different is not tenable. 20. If cause and effect were identical, produced and producer would be identical. If cause and effect were different, cause and non-cause would be alike. 21. If an effect had entityhood, what could have caused it to arise? If an effect had no entityhood, what could have caused it to arise?
22. If something is not producing an effect, it is not tenable to attribute causality. If it is not tenable to attribute causality, then of what will the effect be? 23. If the combination of causes and conditions is not self-produced, how does it produce an effect? 24. Therefore, not made by combination, and not without a combination can the effect arise. If there is no effect, where can there be a combination of conditions?